All right. Five, four, three, two, one. Get ready for a test of the emergency broadcast system, the Forbidden History series. What they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here. Looking for a radio check? And do tell your friends, won't you? You did tell your friends? Well, get on that phone right now and give them a call. After all, you wanted to know, didn't you? This program is the sole paramount copyright and intellectual property of Desert Owl and MFG. All rights reserved. Please note that the following views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily the views nor the opinions of the Master Force Group, U2.com, Free America Radio Network, our sponsors, our partners, and MFG is a private society, and nothing here is ever to be construed as medical nor legal advice. And listen to the Forbidden History prime time 7 days a week right here on the realpublicradio.net, YouTube.com, because hidden beneath the sands of time lies the greatest of all mysteries. It's the Forbidden History. Unearth for yourself the secret truths that lie hidden just beneath the surface below our feet. What is it that the powers that be do not want you or I to know? Come and journey with us as we explore and dare to know, because it's all right here, coming your way 7 days a week, pending 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the realpublicradio.net, Free America Radio Network. Stand by for the broadcast. Still looking for a radio check? Coming to you live from Studio Z at the Lighthouse in Central Ohio and Free America Radio Network in the land of dreams, enchantments, and nightmares. It's the Forbidden History, what they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here, and I am your host, Desert Owl. Glad you're tuned in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the broadcast. We have a couple friends that are on right now, and we have a lot of people listening to the recordings once they get going. History is a mystery, is it not? And I'm still not getting a radio check, so I hope everything's good on this audio, because normally somebody's typing in already. I know we have a slight delay, so I'm still looking for that audio check. Okay, but in the meantime, uh, the Forbidden History. I started studying history at age 14. Okay, I started studying the Central American civilizations, and then the rest is history, as they say. And I love history. I love the mystery. I feel like I'm the real Indiana Jones on a couch. It was I couldn't afford to go to all those places, so I went by books. But the axiom is I'm okay. I'm buffering. Lynn says I'm buffering. That's not good. That is not good. Okay. Um, how bad? How bad am I buffering, Lynn? Sound is good. Okay. Keep me posted. Um, so yeah, the axiom is that you can know the entire universe and never leave your couch. And so that is a proverbial truth. I learned that myself because I left no stone uncovered. I went through the eyes of others. Okay, I went through the eyes of others, and we've got winds of change. IJ on a couch, laughing out loud. Here you find no buffering. Okay, thank you. Winds of change, 31. Okay, and I'm here. Okay, that's Love Matters has a new title tonight. Love Matters is You Cannot Silence Love. Okay, Love Matters. Thank you. And yeah, I feel like half the stuff that I pers or that I've learned through this journey is stuff I never even imagined I would know or would question, have the ability to ask the question, okay, what about this? It was like, who would have guessed that this was true? This happened in our universe. It was like I was suddenly piercing the veil and going as if where no one had ever gone before in the, you know, in the journey, and it was profound. It was like, whoa. So I still have that quote in front of me that is such a profound statement that of truth, because the history uh, has been altered. In fact, as they say, the winner of the war or of the battle then writes to history. Well, I guess then the first battles that were fought a long time ago. Hey, Linda, and good to have you. It looks like the first battles that were ever fought thousands and thousands of years ago then began the direction that we were going to go in, which was a false narrative of our past. Okay, and the volume is good over there. So Linda, thank you. Just need confirmations if we've got bad audio. We need to know about it. Buffering happens, So I think if it's just a very rare event, then it's not going to be a big deal. If it's consistent, then I know where there's a link, I can cut off and start over because there is a feature. I noticed I could bump it up one for less potential buffering. And and do want to welcome our new listeners here tonight. I'm really excited. My heart goes out to everybody out there today. I drove truck coast to coast, and that's a real slave job. I got to tell you, 600 miles a day, never going home. That year after my divorce, and I got in the truck to go over the road, I slept in my own bed 3 days that year. That was 1990. Well, started in 96, but 97, between a year on the road. And I had my headset stuck here on my glasses. I slept 3 days in my own bed, because I was doing a survey. It wasn't like I couldn't have gone home more, but I was scoping things out, interviewing people. I had a Sunday program called America's Driving Force, which was the flagship radio program for United Truckers Defending the Constitution, which was my organization. I literally had locked into the largest lobby basically in America. There's more truckers than anything else. They go everywhere. A lot of them are ex-military. They go to the underground bases. And so literally identified being a truck driver and started to give them an educational program. And it wasn't very long after MI6 went after me, the IRS went after me. And next thing you know, I lost my house on the lake and had a bunch of people, trying to, destroy my life basically from every aspect. And so it was a tough deal, I got to tell you. But then you learn the rest of the story, as they say, and you find out that there's always a shady character. There's always somebody who's willing to sell out for a price, and that's the problem with our world. We can never have this world, because it's a dichotomy and there's darkness as there is light. The darkness dominates, and therefore there's more people willing to sell out than there are more people, willing to have integrity and to do the right thing. So, it's a tragedy. But the good news is that we have a life on the other side, and it begins right here. It begins with the discovery of our true nature, our true past, our true origin, our true makeup of what we really are, and we think we are the body. We go look at it every day in the mirror and say, well, how you doing, babe? And comb our hair and take care of ourselves, and then we forget that actually that makes us a part of this world, but that's the deception. We are a spirit that's in a house, and actually one of the ancient metaphors is that it's a grave. We are trapped. We are trapped inside this being, and we want to be set free. And instead we find we're a slave. And it is, I was going to spill the beans here on another great life history, but I think I should save that for tomorrow. Okay, let me write. This is a good one. I've got a good one for you tonight, so I've got a bunch of them, but I'm trying to really, let me just write a word here. Put them in a certain order, because, you've been lied to, and we have really great people that they know something's wrong, and they've bit off as much of that red pill as they could swallow, and then still, even when we think we figured it out, we haven't figured it out. It's like all the layers of the onion. We're trying to get to the middle, and so you have to go through several layers of that onion. Oh, just like I think a good way to explain it would be, some people think the Bilderberg, I like calling the Bilderbergers, but the Bilderbergs, are like some group of politicians and corporate owners who decided, hey, let's conquer the world, let's take over the world, and like, give me a break, okay? You think just a handful of people can just lock in on the world. No, it's been locked in on a long time ago, and that's what we're going to spill the beans on. But then some people figure, okay, the Bilderbergs are a diversion, and so we have so then they think, okay, I think the Queen of England is running running the world. I mean, she's worth trillions of dollars, owns you know uh, a large percentage of real estate around the world. I don't know, 5% or 10% of the real, whatever it is. A large percentage, islands in the Caribbean and all that. But then they find out, oh, wait a minute, no, because the Queen of England bows down to the Lord Mayor of London, the City of London, and because the banking took over, and really the Queen of England is a puppet head. And how come her husband is not called the king? That's a good question. I'll be glad to answer that. And anybody wants to hit me up on that, because how come the Prince Philip, I think his name is not known as King Philip? Okay, and there's a reason for that, because symbolism rules the world, and it's all symbolic. And one day I'll go there. But so then they go, oh, wait a minute. Okay, so it's Jewish banking. It's Jewish banking that runs the world. And yet then when you look in the Catholic Encyclopedia, you find out, well, wait a minute. The Catholic Encyclopedia says that the Jewish Bauer family, aka the Rothschilds, the Red Shield, interesting word, the Rothschilds, are the protectors and defenders of the Vatican Trust. And so then, okay, so then it must be the Vatican, right? Okay, so then that's what it is. Sure, they terrorized Europe. They burned people at the stake. They wouldn't allow us to read. Everything in the world has a Latin name. Well, if everything in the world has a Latin name, then maybe it means that they own it, right? But still, it's a front office. There's one more layer of the onion to get to the core, and nobody goes there except right here. Okay? Because that is, if you're gonna be kicking butt on the world and doing all this terrible stuff, and not to mention ritually sacrificing and molesting children, you're not. That's not where you're going to live. If you're running the world, that's going to be the front office, so everybody's looking over there, but not looking where you are. Right? You got to be somewhere else if you're running the world, and that is the unseen hand. And so the Vatican rules as well by permission, by allowance. Allowance is a good word, because they get paid to do their dirty deeds, and to commit fraud on the world. And but it goes back, and as I said last night, that there is no new world order. It is a one world order, and it is an old world order that has been going on for thousands of years. Safely, we could say it originated 10 or 12,000 years ago, and yet there were people here before the one world order came to be. It's a big story, and we have all the evidence, and we're locked in. We're locked in on what we call dogma, and prejudice, because of what we have been convinced of all of our lives. And another quote is that it's easier to lie to people than it is to convince them that they've been lied to. And I know that's a fact. That hey, come on, don't destroy my paradigm. I know it. I got it now. I figured it out. You didn't figure it out. You're parroting what somebody told you. Did you ever really figure anything out? Did you ever have a revelation? Did you ever go on a journey all by yourself and come back with the vision that was a mind blower? Because most of us, we establish our paradigm and our convictions based on what our family follows, and what the teacher and the preacher has told us. And those politicians wouldn't lie us. They wouldn't kiss our babies and kiss us off, would they? Of course not. No. Well, so the truth is stranger than fiction, and we have to destroy the paradigm. We have to come to the table without prejudice or prejudgment, because I developed a saying. What would you rather have on the table? Just apples and oranges to compare with? Okay, one or the other. Or would you rather have apples, oranges, peaches, tangerines, pear, grapes, all of them on the table, so you can look at all of them and say, and what about a pumpkin? And then compare them. Compare these different aspects of our origin and what is going on in our world. So the more we have to compare with, then the better we can assess what is really going on in our universe. Okay, and so stand by for the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a good ways to go. I practically talked myself out. I'm amazed I got a voice today after talking myself hoarse for the last 2 days, but I am excited. I'm ramped up because I've met some really wonderful people here. I can't get over it. Within the first broadcast, I met some new people and got to talk to some people I've been just talking to on their YouTube channels by typing, and most people don't want to come out from the keypad and go to the telephone and even say hi. But the purpose of, and let me take a sip here. Hang on. One of the purposes of this broadcast is I wanted to have a way, a common forum where we could all talk to each other, and I will get a conference line going where we can have multiple friends on. We can have a dozen friends all able to talk back and forth, in a big forum. Even more people than that. I mean, a couple hundred, but we wouldn't open it up for that many people. It'd be too rough. Nonetheless, uh, I know that it seems like we're at the end of a road here. What Yeshua called the end of the Gentile dispensation, it looks like we're being dispensed, doesn't it? Really. And so it seems cosmic, but we're being dispensed by the psychopaths who run our world as well. So I wanted to have a caller generated program because it's so difficult to unravel the great mystery, and I'm not smart enough to figure it out. Okay, I've been connected all of my life with the great Spirit of life, the Holy Heavenly Father, Yeshua, my tree of knowledge, my Redeemer, and He's led me down this trail, and I just was willing to go, and everywhere He took me was a discovery and a revelation, and I had many dreams and visions. Okay, it's I'm in a dream, with what He has done to me, to have this download of software of awareness and knowing, having been able to unravel the mystery in this process is like, whoa, like Neo when he says, okay, can I, after they plugged him in and they gave him one software, of jujitsu, and then he comes out and says, whoa, hey, can you give me kung fu? And okay, yeah, boom, and it's like, so I welcome your call because I love to answer questions for what I've learned. You've got to determine for yourself what I share with you is the way it is. Yeshua, yes, me too, brother. Okay, Shadow Ninja, and many. I know there's people that have been touched in this world, maybe well throughout all periods of time, and many of them are like. The original word is navigator, not prophet, but it was navigator. And it was all presented in the movie Avatar because Avatar is an abbreviation of the word navigator. And I'll get into that word very soon, very shortly. That's a priority word. So anyway, I'd love to have you call in, and if you have a comment or question, observation, complaint, or you just want to hang up, one of those funny usually after a program, that's when I get those funny calls, and but that's okay. I can block them, real easy. So it doesn't matter. But the number here is, oh, by the way, I do need a caller, and any new caller, first caller to the program that hasn't gotten a copy will get a free copy of the Real Da Vinci Code Etymological Dictionary. But I have a new way to test out my phone with an amplifier. I have rigged an amplifier, and I want to see how it works compared to the other night. Okay, so 608-566-7295 for an audio check if any of you feel up to it. Otherwise, wait till you have a question or comment. And yeah, I want it to be a caller-generated program. I want to make some friends. I was so excited 2 nights ago when Lynn Mitzi had called in because this is like the stuff I was looking for. And then she tells the story about how she was on a jet plane and looking out her window, and suddenly she saw 2 suns. And then the next thing that happens is, the pilot of the airplane says, "Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we're having rough terrain going on here. Everybody has to put away their iPhones right now. And if you see your neighbor using their iPhone, tell somebody real quick. Tell some, like be a rat and mind somebody else's business. Tell them what to do, And so it was rather telling to hear this story, like I didn't ever hear this kind. And it shows then what that told me was then these jet pilots who are sometimes retired military, but maybe they're military reserves flying these airplanes and give military orders to the people, or you'll be in trouble. Okay. So couldn't take a picture of the sun because turbulence where there was no turbulence. So, okay. So love to hear from you. Uh, and the Skype here, if you want to Skype, and I like to test the Skype as well because it may be the solution to a limited phone capability. The audio still may be low, but we'll give it another shot. Free America Radio, all one word, free as in freedom, Free America Radio. And you can Skype your comments on the Instant Messenger as well on Free America Radio Skype because I look at the people talking on the chat, but to stay focused, I can't read every line, and I don't know when there's a question. So if you're putting up a question for me and you want me to see it there in the chat room, then you may want to put a Q period in front of it so I know it's a question, or put the word question in all capital letters in front of it. And that way, then I can see it better because I'm not reading everybody's comment. I can't talk and read at the same time. You know. So, okay, so love to hear from you, and so we all get to meet each other. You don't have to be shy. You can call every other day, a couple times a week, and this is a way we can make friends. I had some wonderful listeners on my international shortwave radio broadcast I did with WWCR out of Nashville, Tennessee, blasting it around the world. That was really powerful. You get phone calls from Australia after you get off the broadcast, and people all across the country. So you know, and then I had people that would be listening to me for like 2 years, and they never called. And finally, after like 2 years of listening to me, they finally call, and we become friends. But even somebody out of the Illuminati families did that. He was no important player in the Illuminatis. He was actually, I think, wheelchair bound or something to that effect. So he was not a player, but he grew up in these families, and so he called me and told me stuff. He was the one who told me. He actually gave me 2 interviews, and he told me that he had met Amelia Earhart there in New Orleans after she supposedly disappeared. She had changed her name and changed her her appearance a little bit, but he was in her house, and then at a dinner, a German woman walks up to him and he says, "Oh yeah, this was Hitler's daughter," and so I knew about Hitler's daughter prior to her ever becoming Chancellor of Germany, Merkel. Okay, Hitler's daughter. Take a look. Come on, you tell me that she doesn't look like the daughter of Hitler with that face. And so all of these amazing things happen in getting out there and sharing with the world. You never know who's listening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you. Well, we know Bhagwan Gandhi Rashish, who's running the world, is listening in, they're killing the Masons are killing chickens in their backyard, hoping to cast a spell on us and everything. But they have no power. The only thing they've got is a jackboot and a gun. That's basically it, and a bunch of lies and deceptions that they play on our world and on all of these good people. So where are we at here? The Book of Wisdom. Oh yeah, I just wanted to mention. We have some goals here with this broadcast, and the primary goal is to be able to publish the original thought, and the original thought in diction, which is for the translation project. So I have a few things that I can offer for that. We would love to take an outright donation, because the first book I want to publish, and you can get a sample for any size donation. Okay, you got all the text. I don't have the final draft that I had polished and tweaked because it's on my other computer that's still crashed. I can't even afford to hire anybody, to get me all my data. But this is still the complete text, and it's almost finished. It's right at the the end point. And so the Book of Wisdom, it's by Joseph of Arimathea, the great uncle of Yeshua and the uncle of Mary, the royal family, Volshaf of Ramtha, Joseph of Arimathea. His Book of Wisdom, 22 chapters, and I've got to tell you, this is the most powerful Book of Wisdom you will ever read. Okay, It is amazing. He wrote it for the King of England when they moved over there 3 years after they left Jerusalem. When the Pharisees 3 years after Yeshua rose from the dead, then they were put in a boat by the Pharisees, hoping that they would drown or die of starvation and thirst in the ocean. But of course, they were all people of the Spirit, so they made it safely to Tripoli or to Libya, and then from there he went to get refunded by his friend Tiberius Caesar, and then from there made it to Germany because he was a merchant, a tin merchant, and going to England, and so he they all migrated there. He married Lazarus, and his two sisters stayed on the shores of the Mediterranean in France. I can't remember the name of the town off the top of my head. Marseille, Marseille. Okay, that's it's a historical record that he is the first bishop, and we got South San Francisco. Hey, okay, South San Francisco, you're on the air, and what is your first name, please? Go ahead. This Linda? Okay, Linda, good talking to you. I think this is the first time we've ever talked, other than we were typing this morning, weren't we? Oh. Yeah, I'm testing out the mic. I'm putting, my little amplifier, which is a Tupperware pot, didn't work, so I'm just putting the microphone up to my headset here. We're testing it. I go back and listen to the stuff when we're done. I'm trying to my system with a mixing board and all the equipment I got, my Yeti microphone, $100-some-odd microphone, all this equipment. I tried hooking it up yesterday and it didn't work, so had to unplug it all. I got to get a geek. So, but anyway, so Linda, good to talk to you. How are you doing? Yeah, and now speak up as loud as you can because you're sounding low to me right now, and so you really need to speak up as loud as you can. Go ahead, try it again.
Okay, I'm just checking with your audio. So on the phone call, I've got a Yeti mic as well, and I turned everything down just so there wasn't any feedback. So can you hear me okay now? Or?
Yeah, and I figured out where the microphone is on this phone, so I got it at the right place here to pick it up, the best quality. And so fantastic. I vaguely remember our conversation, but I think you just, said some very nice things, and I sure do appreciate your compliments. And, is this your first time? Go ahead.
This is my first time calling you, but it's what, there's so many questions, but I just want to say right now that since I have a copy of your dictionary and like to donate, I don't know if I was the first caller or not, but I'd like to give it you can give it to someone else who would like it.
Okay, that's right. Because this morning I sent you a copy. I sent you a copy this morning, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, well that was good. Yeah, that's right. You sent me an email. I remember now. Okay, well, fantastic. And so, do you have any other comments or a question, Linda?
Yeah, but if you get a chance, I don't know if it's for this episode or not, if you could touch on the word Bible.
Okay, that was you. I wrote it down on the Read by 5 card already. I was going to save that one for tomorrow.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So then I won't say what I've heard about. So,
well, that's okay because it is a code word. It's not the word we want. We use it because everybody relates to it as that word, but it's a negative code. It belongs to the Illuminazis.
Right. That's a lie. Anyway, yeah, that's great. I love the fact that you are breaking down all these words because I've not ever heard this before. So this is great. I'm gonna let you go so other people can maybe call it.
Oh.
If you could, okay.
Okay, Linda. Thank you so much for calling, and pleasure to get to know you today. It's been great, and we'll see you on the program. Take care. Okay. Bye bye. Anytime. Bye. Okay. Well, that was great. We got a radio check there, and I found out my piece of Tupperware. I put the phone in the bottom of the Tupperware. I thought it would be amplified like this. Can you hear the difference? Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing. Yeah, and the phone just didn't didn't have enough oomph in there, and I don't know what to do right now. But someone suggested I might be able to get an amplifier speaker I can plug into the phone itself, and it will just boost the audio and be better than just putting the phone up. So I'm going to work on that. Okay, so the Book of Wisdom, any size donation, and this is the book we want to publish for those who are in prison. My heart goes out to those who are in prison, ladies and gentlemen, because they are the 70% of the people in prison today, don't belong there. They've been railroaded by a prosecutorial system of lies and deceptions, all for revenue. It's all about money, honey. And so so I want to hang on there. Gosh. Okay. Having glasses and a headset is a little rough. Okay, yeah, and so these people need help, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to be able to do anything to help those in prison. And so this work, this is for them because it's the fundamental. What Joseph of Arimathea did was he did a fundamental writing on spirituality. He wrote about the character of those who are spiritual and how they interact with society and with nature and with the divine. Okay, and so 22 chapters. 22 is the number of perfection, and this book is perfect. Nobody has any idea, the character of Joseph of Arimathea, but you will when you read this book. Okay, so the Book of Wisdom, any size donation, be glad to get it to you. You can go to therealpublicradio.net, therealpublicradio.net, and you'll see a donate button there, and then just go ahead and hit that, and I'll get it to you after the program. I'll get it to you PDF, and you can check that out. Okay, so real quick, just before we get into the program, I know I'm long-winded. Forgive me. I always want to do a Skywatch update on anything, and if you have a Skywatch update, then you're welcome to call in, or if you know of a particular channel, because a lot of our friends are Skywatchers, that has an important video, then video of the day, then you could you can call in and give out that YouTube channel, or you can of course type it on the chat line. So but I every Saturday I'm chomping at the bit waiting for Dane Wigington of geoengineeringwatch.org. I've been listening to Dane for 10 years. Hang on a minute. And he's the best. I call him the last American hero. And my heart goes out to the guy, and I already know we've lost the battle. When I was a political activist, I was there, for 20 years, give or take, and duking it out when we really thought back in the 1990s, last century, we could actually kick butt and clean up Washington and get back with our lives. And then we learned the truth. The beast system is bigger than anything we can ever begin to imagine. And like I say, it's not a new world order. It's an old world order. They've been in control from the beginning of recorded history. Only little pockets of people tried to get out periodically, just like Gaddafi in Libya. He was creating a gold standard. He was trying to get away from the new world order, old world order. Okay, couldn't do it. They went after him. The assassination team of USA Incorporated and Hillary Clinton. They killed him and some very loyal American soldiers and an ambassador down there. Betrayed regular people. Could have rescued them, but instead sold them out. Maybe they knew too much, so they had to be eliminated. That seems to happen quite a bit with those cartoon characters, the Clintons. So anyway, Dane Wigington. There's nobody more eloquent and can define the nature of the geoengineering, the aerosol spraying, and what is going on. This guy is a miracle. What a miracle! Put at the right place at the right time to become, what he has become for to all of us. I can't get over it. And hello, Stay Strong. I remember you. We haven't talked in a while. Okay, good to have you. I believe that's my friend over there down in Miami, if I remember correctly. And so got new friends popping in. That's fantastic. So so Dane Wigington, he certainly the least we can do is keep him in our prayers, and we can thank him on his channel. You know, if you go there and listen, just type a thank you. If you can't type anything else, type a thank you, and because that's a gauge on, you know, how many people, you know, or say you're praying for them. You know, with the way they've gone after the doctors, you know, the chiropractors and the naturopaths, and my good friend Dr. Lorraine Hurley on my classic interview called Uncommon Awareness on my channel. That beautiful woman run over on her bicycle, murdered. You know, 6 months after that interview. I know that Dane, you know, they're trying to figure out how to take him down. That's the only, you know, possible deal, because he's destroying the paradigm that they've worked so hard to create. You know, so least we can do is tell people about Dane Wigington, and then also, you know, keep him in your prayers. It's a tragic world, is it not? So to get products and to protect you from lethal UVB and UVC, ladies and gentlemen, Higher Truth Channel is one of the surviving. Has had 2 attempts on his life already, but he's in a hiding. He left his home and went to a safe house, so he's not going out, and he's just telling the truth on the true nature of dealing with cancer, and also the UVB and C. He's the only one giving us the charts, you know, the scientific charts, and they're on his back issues on his channel. You have to go back. He's got a big one named Warning, and right next to those are a couple that are good as well. So, but if you want to get the products, they've got a hat that'll protect your head and the back of your neck, which is vulnerable to the UV, B, and C. They got some ball caps. They got an umbrella. I believe these are made out of vinyl, and therefore vinyl is a protector, as well as some other products. I'm not, you know, sure of what other, but I know vinyl. I've heard him say that. So I got my blinds are vinyl, so I keep them closed when the sun's on that side of the house. Pull the curtains. I don't open them anymore. Okay, I don't let the sun come in, as much as I hate that. So we're not in the same ball game anymore, and we've got to protect ourselves. Look out for those little ones. You know, that destroys the DNA. So the website they have, and they have a Silver Safe product you can put on your skin. So if you got to get out in the sun, you put this stuff on your skin. You wear long sleeves. You put on your vinyl cap. You maybe a windbreaker. I think windbreakers are vinyl. So put a windbreaker on. You know, but their website is silversafetan.com. Silversafetan.com. Okay, and they have an email, contact at silversafetan.com. Contact at silversafetan.com. And so they're giving you a lot of product at basically their cost. They're just trying to cover their bases. They're not trying to make money. These people made good money as chiropractors, and you know there's a team of them, and so they're doing it, folks. Okay, and they're being attacked. They are being attacked by you know who. So so continuing on here. And thank you again, Linda, for that call. So book review. Okay, back now we're going into our forbidden history. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Okay, I try to cover some bases, and we've got to you know, go some places where nobody else is going, and that way we you know, we're full service here. Okay. My old saying was, I don't care how bad it is, just tell me the truth and I'll learn how to deal with it. Right. So last night I did a presentation in our book review on the most important Bible translation in modern time. It's almost a neck and neck race between two books, and the other one I'm going to share with you tonight. But I want to back up on Farrar Fenton for a moment, okay? Because there was one more part in there that I should have related to, and it's right in the book, what we call the Book of Genesis, which is Bereshith, actually in the Hebrew, Bereshith. And I guess I may need more light here. Let me see. But right in chapter one, he's the only one who got it right. Okay, he's the only. I've known this. I've known this for decades now. Okay, I have eyes to see, and I know that, you see, what happens again. What I was talking about at the beginning, where people and their paradigm. You know, my question ultimately became to my friends. You know, was okay. So the things that you follow. You know, people like to use the word believe, but that's another word I want to share with you. And you know, it's not what you think it means. Okay, it's Latin, and I'll get into that in another program. But so the things that you follow or believe, okay, are these things that have been handed down to you by tradition, or are they things that you have you received a revelation, you saw something for the first time, it was like eureka, or like you remember where you were, if you're as old as I am, where you were when Kennedy was shot, like it was such a powerful vision that, wait a minute, how did I ever not see that? Whoa, and therefore it's like, okay, and yet everybody's saying this, and this is what it's saying. How can this be? You know, how can this be? And because what I found out was that half the stuff that's being propagated out there is not true, it's not correct, it's incomplete, and or it's misleading. They're misleading. The leaders are the phony leaders. Okay, I mean there are some sincere leaders out there, I'm sure, but a large, and the majority of them, a large percentage, and that's the majority of them. There are exceptions, there's always exceptions, but the majority of them are Illuminati, because the Illuminati don't hide as politicians, they don't hide as judges on the bench. The Illuminatis, they hide as preachers, like Pat Robinson, what was the cathedral, Schuler, the cathedral uh, theater, all of these big, you know, they're Illuminati, and they're there to keep you under the spell of religion. That's their job, you see. Waving their hands, hocus pocus, got you hypnotized, babe. And so I have some friends that literally, they're closing their eyes really hard. They're closing them tight because they're hanging on to what they've been handed by tradition, and they can't even wake up to, to what's right in front of them, what is all an open secret, ready for the picking and for the observation of the mind. They can't do it. And so I was amazed when I finally got my Farrar Fenton last year, just about uh, over almost a year ago. Then right out the gate, because I've been saying it all along. I knew that you can look at the Earth and you can see how old the Earth is. Okay, the Earth, and they actually got it down now to saying that the Earth is only like 5,500 years old. Well, even if you go with the timeline of when Adam and Eve, and that's not their names, by the way. It's another word, another trick they played on us, but I'll share that with you coming up. The where was I going here? The game that they played. I'm having a senior moment. Okay, I love it when it happens on a broadcast. They played tricks on us. Okay, yeah, they did, and they got us under the spell, and it's all with words, and it's all about words. Okay, so once you can spell the words, then you're not under the spell anymore and under their control. But I'm still trying to remember where I was going with that. So, well, let me just move right into it. Well, okay, so what happened was, at one point, I after having read the books over and over and over, and ended up with 2,000 books on the shelf, 60 different versions of the Bible, collected all the lost writings. I just on overload, and then I started just listening to documentaries because I was getting older, getting tired, and I just started writing down my 3x5 cards and notes uh, of the of what I was learning off these documentaries. And when you watch the documentaries, well, you can't deny that that there's all these artifacts that go back for what looks like tens of thousands or 100,000. And this sledgehammer they found in a coal deposit in Northern California, is in a bed layer that's several million years old. Look at the sides of the Grand Canyon. Not to mention there's all the evidence. Okay, it's a hands down argument for me, because the Earth is millions of years old. Okay, and so so the reason we bought into 6 24-hour days of creation is because, and this should be part of the great lies of history. I got another one that's even better than this one, but this is relevant to what I'm trying to share with you about why Fenton and I are the only one telling it correctly. Okay. No, there's others out there. Okay, I know there is. There's a guy who wrote a book about the age of the Earth, and from a Christian standpoint, by the way, he wouldn't do an interview with me at the time, but so the evidence is out. It's undeniable, and you know what's interesting is that the Mayan calendar also works in tandem off of the correct uh, scenario of how creation came to be, because we're told that the world was made in six, right? So let me 6 what now is the question. Now I'm going to lead into it, okay? Because right out the gate, Fenton says in chapter 1, verse 1, by periods, Elohim created that which produced the solar system, okay? So first 2 words, by periods, and that's the word I've been using, okay, all along. That the Earth was made in 6 great periods, because and the answer is in the word itself, okay, the word itself, because it's 2 words. It's yud, yud. Well, you know what a yud is? It's the point. It's the smallest. It's a period, and it's a dot. And that which is least is like that which is great, and that which is great is like that which is least. And the dot represents the sun. In fact, that little dot is so powerful that it's the most powerful symbol of all the symbols within the alphabet. Why? Because it stops everything. You put that little dot right there, and it just stopped the sentence and the thought, right? The dot. And so period, peri means great. Okay? And that's why if you go to a pear tree, you got a pregnant fruit. A pear, because it takes 2 to get pregnant, right? A pear. And so that's why there used to be a program back in the 1950s called Perry Mason. This Mason was getting fat, like all the Masons are, off of society. They're getting fat, and so Perry Mason's a big guy showing, the fat, cat, and they're and they're having a party on us. They say, "Give me your money. Come on, give me $10,000. I'll work with the judge, and we'll get you free." Next thing you know, you're going up the river, and he says, "Well, give me another $10,000, and maybe I can still get you out. I don't know, And then so they milk you for everything you got. So they're getting fat. Perry Mason, and so it says by periods, okay? And so then when we get to where in all the other scriptures, it says, and that was the first day, okay? Like at the end of verse 5 here, Genesis chapter 1, verse 5. And he says here, this was the close and the dawn of the first age, okay? And that's the way it is. It's not the first day. And this is one of the tricks that they played, and it was done by the priesthood, okay? It's not an accident. And it's not an accident that Fenton said, well, you know what? I'm not going to read the English Bibles. From college, for 40 years, he read nothing but the Hebrew and Greek. For 40 years, the most ancient documents. And then he said, I'm not reading the English because I don't want to be prejudiced by doctrine, by dogma, by politics, by errors. Okay? I want to know what the originals, the most ancient, closest to the original say, and then I'm basing my transliteration on what the Greek and what the Hebrew are actually saying. Nobody influences me. I am serving the great Father of light. So 40 years in the wilderness of reading. That's rather coincidental with my story, because now I'm just 40 years of study, 40 plus years, and doing my transliteration now. And I use these experts, absolutely use these experts in my work to bring us the most important a culmination of all of these other experts. So they classically interchanged the word age with world, like they might say the end of the world, and yet it's also the end of the age. You see, it depends upon the context, of course. So anyway, so this fits perfectly then, because I know the Mayan calendar is correct. They killed Lungold on his presentation of the Mayan calendar, because it's a mind blower. It's on my website, by the way, therealpublicradio.net. I think you got to go up to technology. After you go to technology, click on calendar, And then I hope those videos are still good. It's been a long, several years now. But so he gives the timeline of how creation evolved, and that's exactly the way it is in our scriptures, ladies and gentlemen. 6 great ages. Look at the stars. How long did it take? You see, it was a natural process, not magic, presto, boom, bing, bang, bom, bo, and everything's here. But what this does also is it shows the greatness. It shows the greatness of Yahweh. It shows his patience. When we talk about he's a patient father, well, how more patient can you be than to be just, you know, letting nature take its course in the process of the development of all of the cosmos. The children of the sun, the moon, the earth, Venus, Mars, all, Mercury coming out of the sun as children of the sun, and then they orbit around the sun. Everything came out of the light. And then the reason they took orbit around the sun is because they are the children of the sun, a solar system. Some people are trying to destroy that today, aren't they? The light is at the center of everything, is it not? Is it not? Okay. Oh, and by the way, talking about that, let me show you one more reason, Fenton is so powerful. Okay. Just clicked with me when I said that. Okay. Get ready. Let me find my notes here. Oh, didn't I post my page? Give me a break. Where is that? Let me back up. Hang on. I'll find it. I can't believe it. Oh, geez. Where did my post-it note go? Okay, he's got it. He's got it in here twice, and okay, it's about Solomon. I'm getting focused now. Hang on. Lost Books. Divided Kingdom begins.